All right, and we are back. So, picking up where we left off, John Adams in the slide before this tells you a little bit about him as a person. He was extremely smart, not easy to get along with. He had been VP to Washington, which is why he was the leading contender to be president, and people had a little bit more faith since he had been by Washington's side. As soon as he gets into office, John Adams is dealing with the leftover foreign affairs problems from Washington. So Washington had tried during his administration to proclaim neutrality. We did not want anybody to be our friend or our enemy. We just wanted to be neutral. However, we signed a treaty with Great Britain. Great Britain had been bothering us in our shipping. They had also been messing with us out west on the frontier. So we had signed Jay's treaty with them to try and basically tell them to back up and respect us. Now, the French, who we had not helped in the revolution that they had because we proclaimed neutrality, are mad about this because they see this as breaking neutrality. We signed a treaty with Britain. That means we're friends with Britain. So the way they handle this situation is they start seizing our ships. If we had a ship going to Great Britain, that means that France would try to stop it, take it over, and take all of our stuff. That's not being neutral. That's not fair to us. So what we try to do is what's called diplomacy. We try to send people over to go and speak on our behalf in France. So at the time, France is still in revolution, so they don't really have a stable government. They have what's called the Directory of Five, and that is who we're trying to send our delegates to go and discuss what the heck's going on and make France leave us alone. French secret agents, however, called X, Y, and Z, are going to stop our diplomats from coming on shore at France. Instead, what they say is basically, stop what you're doing. You cannot come to France to talk to us unless you pay a bribe to the French government. Now, if you know anything about the United States, we don't handle that very well when we're told what to do. So we refuse to pay. And instead, Americans back at home start saying, hey, France is messing with us. That's not fair. We should go to war with France. Now, which group do you think is actually calling for this war against France? It's the people who don't like France. That would be the Federalists. So we have our Federalists like Hamilton saying that we need to raise taxes, that we need to take land. Congress itself, because it's mostly Federalists, are going to create a navy to fight France at sea. And we even actually asked George Washington to come back from retirement and help us out. What we call this is the XYZ affair. And what it turns into is a kind of a fake war at sea called a Quasi-War. It's an undeclared war. It's never going to be like an open, hey, we fought France. But we're basically battling France at sea because they are not respecting our neutrality. Now, good thing for us, France, because it's in a revolution, actually can't afford to fight us. And therefore, the Quasi-War is only going to last for about 2 years. You're going to have that short little guy named Napoleon show up in Europe. He's going to usurp or take power. Remember our vocab words. He's going to take power from the Directory of Five that was running France, and they're going to start to focus back on themselves. Once Napoleon takes the power, he agrees to receive our diplomats that we had originally sent over to try and stop France from messing with us. And the outcome for us is that we get out of the treaty that we had signed with them during the American Revolution. Flashback to the American Revolution, France, when they agreed to help us and support us, we had made a treaty agreement with them. We're now free from that. We are officially neutral. France can no longer claim us as an ally. We have no more obligations to France. We don't get any compensation for the stuff they stole from us when they seized our ships. So we do have some Federalists who are angry, and they are going to take that out on the United States and the citizens in the U.S. in just a second when we talk about something called the Alien and Sedition Acts. So we'll be back in a moment to talk to you about the Alien and Sedition Act.